Well, the Prime Minister of India is inviting U.S. companies to invest in his country, and our next guest says India may have no choice but to attract infrastructure investment from overseas. Joining us right now from Boston is Punita Kumar-Sinha. She is a Senior Managing Director at Blackstone, Chief Investment Officer of the Asia Advisors Group, and Manager of the India Fund at Blackstone. Punita, good to have you with us. So, you know, there is so much focus, as you would you would expect, with the Treasury Secretary over in India. What is it that you think investors either are missing right now about the investment climate in India?
Well, actually, there is a lot of optimism about India broadly across the globe, and this optimism is not unfounded. So I don't think investors are really missing anything. I think everyone is aware of the great growth story and a secular story in India. Of course, it's going to have hiccups, and there are going to be execution delays, and so there's going to be some volatility, but the growth story remains intact.
And how do you invest, Punita, in that? I mean, is infrastructure the best way to get in on this? Because I know you like construction, but you also say power and roads are good big plays there. Is that key for investors?
Well, it depends on your time horizon. If you take a long-term horizon, then I think the biggest investment from the government and the private sector is going to be in infrastructure. The government has a plan of about spending $1 trillion over the next 7 years in infrastructure, and that composes of power being the largest, followed by roads, telecom, airports, ports. I mean, there's a whole host of infrastructure needs that India has. So now, if you are a long-term investor, and these are long gestation projects, and it takes a while to actually recover your money, then these are good sectors to be in, because you're going to be getting in early, and you're going to get in at, hopefully decent valuations.
I mean, Punita, it's still a long-term play here, infrastructure, isn't it, for India? I mean, there's still so much to be done.
It's a very long-term play.
I wonder about how much money, we talk about cash on the sidelines that people are waiting for to come back into U.S. equities, but one of the reasons it hasn't showed up here is that it's all going to you, right? I mean, how much do you see flows going into emerging markets? Is it overwhelming?
The flows have been quite strong. Last year, I think India received foreign, just FII flows, not including FDI, over $17 billion. But of course, you have to put that in context with the year prior, with the crises. There was quite a significant amount of outflows, over $12 billion. So, and this year also we have seen inflows. And India tends to get inflows when emerging markets, do well. And India is actually getting more flows now, and the India story seems to be getting more attention than the China story, at least right now.
Are you concerned that could create a bubble, or do you see already in some pockets of investment there bubbles building?
Well, one of the things with emerging markets is that they do get overvalued when there's been a lot of flows, and then when there are outflows, these markets get undervalued very quickly, so they tend to be quite volatile, and that is always a concern, that India could actually, the market, if it continues to get flows the way it has been, that it could go to peak valuations. It's not there at all yet. Right now the market's trading in the middle of its historic range. The market's traded as high as 29 times. It's right now at about 16 times. So it's nowhere there, but yes, there's always that fear that things could hit bubble valuations.
So, I mean, when we talk about the fact that we're back at levels that we haven't seen since spring of 2008, are you concerned that the markets are too frothy and that we're due for a correction here?
Well, we still haven't hit the peak of January 2008 in terms of the market levels. So we're not totally there, but yes, around those levels, things do start looking a bit frothy if they were to get there very quickly. But if it's a gradual, a movement in the markets where the earnings are actually supporting such a movement, then I wouldn't be so concerned. So, we have to keep hoping that the earnings keep coming through.
Punita, just got about a minute left here. I mean, in terms of your favorite investment plays for India, let's say over the next 3 years or so, is it again going back to infrastructure? Or are there other areas that aren't getting as much attention that you think investors should seriously start looking at?
Well, definitely, as portfolio investors, infrastructure is not very easily investable. So you have to look at other sectors. Autos have been doing well. There's capital goods. There's consumption plays, whether you can play it through banks or other measures. India is a very broad-based economy. Healthcare is a good sector. So you have to look at it. In fact, infrastructure is more a play for foreign direct investors and not necessarily only foreign portfolio investors.
All right, hey, Punita, thanks so much for joining us. Punita Kumar-Sinha there joining us from Blackstone. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day for us.